The F.W. Ritter Company in South Rockwood, Michigan, is one of the United States' most prolific producers of clay flower pots. The company has been in continuous operation since 1893 and at the present site since 1921. The South Rockwood location has proven to be an excellent choice because of the abundance of yellow glacial clay there. The 240-acre site is covered with a layer of clay averaging 5 feet thick that is expected to meet production demands for another 75 years. The clay pot production process starts with the removal of the clay from the field with 28-yard scrapers, which is then stockpiled in the clay shed, a large building which holds 15,000 cubic yards of the raw material. The shed keeps the clay dry, and during the winter months, when the fields cannot be mined, the shed will supply all of the clay for production. From the shed, the raw clay is fed to a hopper by a bulldozer and then belt fed to the primary crusher. The crusher reduces the size of the large chunks of clay and screens out any rock. The pulverized clay is lifted from the crusher by a bucket elevator and distributed to one of 4 plunger tanks where it is mixed with water and made into a clay-water mixture called slurry. The slurry is then pumped over fine vibrating screens which reduce the mixture to particles less than 7/1000 of an inch, about the size of fine beach sand. This gives the clay fine body and smooth texture. From the screens, the slurry is pumped into a 5,000-gallon holding tank and fed to high-pressure pumps. The pumps deliver the slurry, now called slip, to filter presses at 180 pounds pressure. The filter presses are like a series of alternating dinner plates with filters in the cavities that trap the inflowing slip and release all but about 20% of the moisture. When the filter presses are opened, the clay cakes are removed and carted to an even clay feeder, which dispenses the clay by conveyor to a de-airing mill, where the air is removed, creating a denser clay body. The clay is then passed to the distribution network, which is controlled by an electric eye system to fill bins at every pot press. There are 18 pot presses of various sizes that all function in a similar manner. At the press, the clay is resized in a pug mill, where a properly sized clay slug is extruded and deposited into one of 4 or 6 female dies in the rotating table of the press. A small amount of lubricant is applied to the slug as a rotating male die descends under pressure to form the clay to the proper shape. As the table indexes to the next station, the pot is lifted and trimmed, and then the hole is punched in the bottom. At the final index, the pot is lifted and manually removed from the press and placed onto a drying conveyor. The pots, or greenware, remain on the conveyor for 24 hours, which allows the water to evaporate from the clay. There are 4 drying conveyors, ranging in length from 3,000 to 5,000 feet. The dryers are warmed by waste heat from the kilns, along with a certain amount of direct heat. The greenware is removed from the conveyor and placed either on kiln cars or on carts for setting in the periodic kilns. The periodic kilns are the older ovens and only account for about 20% of the current production. The new multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art shuttle kilns, installed in 1990 and 91, are much more energy efficient. Burning at a temperature of over 1,750 degrees Fahrenheit, the burn time has been significantly reduced, as has been breakage and fuel consumption. All the kilns are fired by natural gas, which is purchased directly from the producers, either Unigas or Mishcon, and piped in via the Eastern Panhandle pipeline. F.W. Ritter uses about 1.4 billion cubic feet of natural gas annually, which is enough to supply a city of 12,000 for a year. The old kilns had to be manually loaded and unloaded, whereas the new shuttle kilns afford a roll-through efficiency. After the pots are fired, they are inspected and sent to packaging, where they are either boxed or palletized. The boxing, or carton process, is used for mass merchandisers and features ease of movement with a minimum of breakage in transit due to inner packaging. The department boxes about 3,000 cases per day, 6 days a week. The balance of the product is prepared for bulk shipments on pallets, where the pots are again inspected, stacked in bulk, wrapped in plastic, and sent to the shrink tunnel. The entire pallet is heated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and upon exiting, the colder air causes the plastic to shrink and encapsulate the pots in mass. There is a 60-40 ratio of carton to bulk packaging. The stock is inventoried in multiple warehouses, both indoors and out. F.W. Ritter has 2 overhead crane trucks for delivery of product to greenhouses, and the balance is shipped by a common carrier. The company has recently constructed a new office facility to house the state-of-the-art computerized order, billing, and invoicing systems. The pleasant, friendly people at F.W. Ritter Company are ready to answer any questions you may have concerning your orders or any difficulties you may encounter. There are up-to-date fax lines for EDI delivery and invoicing, and also the latest upgrades in electronic mail. The company turns 100 years old in 1993 and is constantly striving to upgrade its services and facilities to better serve its valued customers. Ritter has recently become a United States distributor for several Italian manufacturers, which offer complementary lines of larger products which supplement the standard lines for the American market. Service to the industry is the motto at F.W. Ritter & Sons, and service is what you can expect.